what's up guys, it's Kelly, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm reviewing House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J Maas. If you find yourself enjoying this, then please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, it really helps me out, and if you're new here and would like to see more of me, then please subscribe. So this is book 2 in the Crescent City series. There will be spoilers for House of Earth and Blood, but it will be spoiler free for House of Sky and Breath. So as the book opens, we find Bryce and Hunt in kind of an interesting space where they are together, but they've also decided to keep things platonic until the summer solstice, just as they kind of process everything that happened that spring and just kind of come to terms with where they're at in their own lives, and also sort of like figure out what they want in their relationship. But obviously tension is mounting, and let's be honest, it is clouding a lot of their decision making. At the same time, they're being drawn into a rebel plot that they want absolutely no part of after the events of the spring, after, you know, killing Micah. They're really trying to like avoid any sort of scrutiny from the Asteri. They're really just trying to like lay low, stay out of trouble, not give anyone any reason to try to kill them. But as they learn more about the rebel movement, they are faced with the choice between staying silent while people are being oppressed and like actively harmed, or fighting back. I definitely felt like this had a stronger fantasy plot than book 1 did, although I am kind of missing that like murder mystery vibe that we got in book 1 of just them like walking around interrogating people. I enjoyed that. But yeah, this definitely is, you know, feeling more like a strong fantasy book. And I thought that the plot was great. I thought that everything was everything plot-wise was really well executed. Like, I was gripped and fascinated the whole time. But if I could give 2 criticisms, one, I felt like some things weren't explained very well. I found the first book slightly info dumpy, not in a way that I minded, but obviously it was setting up a new fantasy world and a new magic system, a new political structure, and all of that needed to be explained in that one book. And as a result, I did find that there was a lot of information being thrown at us, but I always found it quite easy to keep track of, quite easy to understand, whereas in this one, all of those moments where information was being thrown at me, a couple of moments where like some historical stuff was being thrown at us, to me it just wasn't explained as fully and as clearly as I'd like. And I did have 1 or 2 moments where something was then referenced later in the book and I was like, what happened? Like, what did they actually tell us about this thing? So that would be my one criticism. The other one is that it could be shorter. So like, I really enjoyed the whole 800 pages of this book. Like, I was gripped the whole way. However, there were definitely scenes where it kind of felt like nothing was happening, and obviously that's fine, you can have scenes without action, but they also felt that they weren't furthering the plot in any other way with regards to like character development or relationship development. And like, yeah, sometimes it was fun to just see 2 characters that I really liked hang out, but I do kind of feel like in a book of this size, you do have to make sure that every moment is necessary, and that doesn't mean that it needs to be high action, but it, you know, it does need to be doing something. And I didn't always feel that the scenes were, or even if they were, I felt like they could have been maybe combined with other scenes. I didn't mind the length personally. The length and those scenes that I felt sometimes were unnecessary didn't hamper my enjoyment of the book at all, but it is something that I kind of just want to mention because I think it's something that could put people off. But the actual plot itself I thought was really well executed. There were multiple plot twists. Most of them I saw coming, but if you follow me on TikTok or Instagram, there was one that just like broke me. I was so shocked by it. There's lots of twists and turns, lots of intrigue to kind of keep you invested. There are 1 or 2 revelations about like the lore of the world that have made me so excited to see what happens next. The setup for book 3 in multiple ways is exceptional. Like, I'm so excited to see where things are gonna go. I thought the writing was great. I really enjoy her writing style. I find that she strikes kind of a nice balance between her writing being quite simple but also being very descriptive and very immersive. This is not purple prose. It's generally quite straightforward, but still like fully immerses me in the world that she's building for me. Characters. Okay. The characters are just like next level in this book. Bryce grows up a lot and levels up a lot. In book 1 we see her just like being a bitch most of the time. It is very much a defense mechanism, like she wears that bitchiness like armor, but we get to see a lot more of like the real her, I'd say, in this. We see a lot more of her softer side. We also see a lot more of her like clinical calculating war mind, and and she does pull a couple of Aelins where she's like, oh, no one needs to know what I'm planning, I'm gonna just do this thing by myself and let what happens happen, which honestly is very frustrating, but like it works for her, she pulls it off. So it was really great to see Bryce grow as a character and start to chip away at that armor and become like more of a real, well-rounded character. And she's letting more of the people around her just see past that like bitchy exterior to the true person underneath. But don't worry, we still get all of the bitch, all of the sass, because she still very much uses that armor in front of the rest of the world. We get to see Hunt being a lot more emotionally vulnerable in this book as well. I don't know that I would say that there's a lot of growth for him, but I think we definitely get to know him a lot better, which is a nice experience. We also get to see a lot more of Bryce and Hunt interacting like a couple, and I'm finding their dynamic slightly more realistic than some of the other pairings that Sarah J Maas has. I mean, you know that the other main Sarah J Maas pairings are like my ultimate OTPs. I love them so much. They are my comfort characters, they are my comfort relationships, but a lot of the time they do very much feel like relationships that exist within a fantasy romance novel, whereas Hunt and Bryce do feel, apart from some of the like really cringy dialogue and very poor decision making, feel a lot more real in the way that they talk about things and the way that they get annoyed with each other and don't just like immediately resolve it. Feels a lot more realistic to me, and I really appreciate that. And then we get a lot more of the secondary characters in this, which is just fantastic. We get so much more Tharion, who I love. We get so much more Rune, and it is amazing. We get introduced to a new character called Cormac, who's very interesting. We spend quite a lot of time with Ethan, who was part of Danica's pack of wolves. And then because Hunt is actively working as part of the auxiliary guard again, we get to see a lot more of some of the other angels, some good, some bad. Yeah, we get to see a lot more of the dynamics between the various groups of angels, which is an interesting situation. So all in all, the cast of characters in this is fantastic, and we get to see a lot of these characters by themselves, or at the very least separate from Hunt and Bryce, and that really just helped to make them feel a lot more real and a lot more three-dimensional. Like, they do have lives outside of the main plot of this book, which I thought was kind of refreshing, because she does sometimes have a tendency to neglect her secondary characters in favour of the main characters, and it's really nice to see some of those really, really interesting secondary characters coming to the fore a bit more. It was also really great to see these characters' relationships with each other grow, rather than just their relationships to Hunt and Bryce. And that's something I think that we have missed in some of her other books. Although Hunt and Bryce are 100% the main characters, it does feel like she's growing the series into more of an ensemble cast from the beginning, whereas her other two series started off very much as following a certain number of main characters and then branching out and becoming more of ensemble series. So I'm really enjoying that slightly different take, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here. As much as this book is a fantasy and it is a romance, at the end of the day, it really is about standing up to bullies. It is about seeing people who have held and abused power for far too long and deciding if you're willing to step up and challenge that power and create a better world for everyone, or if you would rather stay silent and stay complicit, which I want to say is apt for the times that we're living in, but really isn't it just appropriate to any period of the world throughout history? It is just about asking those hard questions and asking that if your personal safety and comfort is worth the oppression of other people, or if you're willing to step out of your comfort zone to put yourself in danger in whatever form that might be, in order to make the world a better place for everyone, not just you. On the whole, I think it was a better book than book one. I probably did enjoy this one more because this one had just so many things about it that I loved, but my overall reading experience, I think just because of the place that I've been in my life and how difficult I've been finding reading lately, and the fact that this book took me over a month to finish, I think that all contributed to me feeling like I enjoyed it less than book one. But if I actually look at the elements of the book and how they came together, I probably did enjoy it even more than I enjoyed book one. Naturally, I gave it 5 stars because of course I did. I loved it, I thought it was great. I think if you enjoyed book one, you will enjoy this one. I have spoken to a couple of people who did not enjoy book 1 that much and enjoyed this one a lot more. So I think for most of you, it's only, like, your enjoyment of the series is only going to go up in this one. If you have read it, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I do have a spoiler-filled reading vlog coming soon where I just go into detail about my feelings on everything. This is my, like, analytical reaction. That is mostly just, like, squealing. But hopefully you guys enjoy it nonetheless. If you did enjoy this video, then please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you aren't already. In the description, you'll find links to all of my other social media. That's my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Goodreads, as well as my blog and my TikTok. You'll also find links to my Ko-fi, my Redbubble, my online store, my Black Walls affiliate link, my Scribd affiliate link, and my Amazon publishing page where I am starting to publish notebooks if you'd like to support me using any of those. But that's it from me today, and I shall see you all again very soon. Bye!
My life is grounded in a firm routine of coffee, sleep, and work. I am not